evil genius. All right, everybody, turn the volume up. Get ready. It's time for the Cave Sports once again. I'm your host, Anastasia. We're coming in on week 6 of the NFL to talk football, social topics, with, of course, the greatest co-host on the island of Hawaii, the evil genius himself, Mr. Pepper.
What's happening, folks? I'm feeling good, even though I'm old and broken. I'm feeling good this week. I'll tell y'all why I'm feeling good in a minute, but go ahead. Host.
Probably because he beat me.
It wasn't even a beating, guys. I mean, if we must discuss it, it was disgusting.
Mind you, this has finally happened for him. I mean, congratulations. He's gotten a beating. It was horrific. You know what's so funny is I was picking my picks with my dad this week, and I'm telling you right now, I'm about to call my dad the next time I have to do a pick 6, because this dude was like on it. Like some of the picks he made, I was like, whoa, like you know what you're doing. So yeah, it was a tough week for me, but I did win, my fantasy, so that was okay. But just some surprising things, and I do like a pick 6, like that thing, and we're into week 6 and nobody has won yet, so that tells you everything you need to know about the league. And all, like we said, all the changes that happen in the NFL rankings in the top 10, you're going to see more changes this week too. And that just tells you how unpredictable the NFL is right now, which is kind of nice. I was kind of tired of it being predictable, and it has not. So we'll definitely cover those hot topics today. We are going to do the top 10 power rankings. Not really. I guess there are a couple of notable injuries, maybe. A few.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
The Eagles specifically.
Yeah,
had
Philly.
one.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll talk about like our upset picture thing, and then like some fantasy sit and search. So you can catch us every Thursday morning. Make sure to follow us for updates on Facebook and Instagram. We're the Cave Sports on Facebook, and then Cave Sports Podcast on Instagram. And then, of course, you can now find us on YouTube at Cave Sports TV. So if you're on the go, definitely check us out there. Subscribe. Yeah, click the bell next to the subscribe button so you get alerted every time we drop a new video. But if you are a podcast expert and you already like to do it that way, feel free to keep tuning in on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.
There it is. Let's kick this show off.
Right.
Let's kick it off right. What's our first get down?
Well, we always start with the upset of the week.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to check the spreads out? Because I did.
I am going through right now, and go ahead while I mull over these two.
Mind you, I'm the organized one.
Yes, she is.
This is how life works, which is fine.
But mind y'all, I'm also filming a comedy special this week.
I'm
producing the entire show. I got a bar to run. My DJ, his mom just passed away. R.I.P. So I got to figure that stuff out. I got a lot of things going on.
You threw that in. I mean, I can't compete with that, so thanks.
Exactly. Somebody's mama died, and I'm busy. So go ahead and make your upset.
Well, we are very busy people, but we still make time to do this every week, which you're welcome. I'm going to go with Buffalo at Houston. I mean, Houston won, but I don't. But 9.5. I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like Buffalo can come back, and I'm just not necessarily convinced yet of Houston to give them a 9.5 on Buffalo. Fair. So that's going to be my upset of the week. And I think what's his name, Josh Allen. I think he is, starting to feel a little bit more comfortable because he wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season, and he kind of got thrown in there, and everybody knows how dysfunctional Buffalo is.
Buffalo has covered the spread ever since that Vikings game.
Yeah, so they're not like some terribly sorry team right now. They're just dysfunctional, and sometimes when you're dysfunctional, you can be successful, and sometimes you can be terrible. But I just don't feel like Houston is so consistent to the point where I'm going to give them 9.5 easily over Buffalo. I just don't see it. I was trying to remember who is playing in England. Isn't somebody playing in England this week?
I do believe so. Hang on.
Maybe Green Bay, or I don't know. Somebody's playing overseas. And I didn't get a chance to look at who that was, but usually those games is like somebody blows out someone else.
Yeah. I think that may be next week.
Is it? Okay.
I'm scooting forward to see. Yes, that's next week.
Okay.
Titans and Chargers are next week.
Okay. So I'm just letting you guys know, FYI, look out for that game for next week, because usually somebody gets blown out in those games. I don't know why.
Yeah. They just usually they can't adjust.
Yeah, somebody's body could adjust and somebody could not. And more than likely, if they're coming, it's the Titans. So the Titans will probably do better than the Chargers, because I think that the Chargers are coming from further away.
Yeah, I don't think they're going home, because
they're not.
The Chargers are playing the Browns this week. And I think they're just going to go to England after that.
Well, that's
I don't
smart. Okay, well, that's smart then. So, see, now that's the thing. So now is Tennessee going to go early? Or are they going to stay behind?
I can tell you right now, I'm done with Tennessee.
They're suspect.
I was in a survivor pool, and I was one of 10 people out of 60 people left in the survivor pool. And I woke up at the crack of dawn, like after driving all night, just like on an hour and a half of sleep, and was like, oh, crap, I got to get a pick in. And I saw Tennessee against Buffalo.
Right.
Cool. Tennessee's been playing well. Let me jump on the Titans real quick, slide this pick in. And y'all lost to the Bills, to Buffalo.
And then the week before, they act like they could play. I'm confused.
Yeah, y'all beat Philly. And like, I understand that first game of the season where they lost, where they kept having 4-hour rain delays in Miami. Okay, I'm not really tripping on that loss. Since then, they've been playing good.
Right.
And then y'all go up to Buffalo and cost me my survivor pool. You're dead to me.
Well, hasn't it been a conversation that's been brought up about Mariota and his just inconsistency? And is he really the franchise quarterback they're trying to make him out? Because it was him and Jameis that came out at the same time. They went back and forth those 2 years for the Heisman. It's very rare that you're seeing a Heisman Trophy winner be successful in the league in the last 15 years. I think Cam Newton might be one of the few.
True.
That has. So,
I agree with your assessment on not sure if he's still yet a franchise quarterback. I give him the rest of this year to go ahead and let that play out.
Yeah.
That game against Buffalo was the end game. The fourth quarter was shitty coaching on both ends, and Buffalo ended up having more time.
Yeah.
It was two rookie coaches being rookie coaches, where Tennessee could have put the game away. Actually, Mariota threw a bomb to his running back, and it was a perfect pass, and he dropped it in the end zone. Otherwise, they would have been up 5, and Buffalo would have had a minute and a half to try and come down and score.
Yeah.
I'm
not putting it all on him. Like, I don't think you can put anything on one player. But I would say that to say that I'm impressed with him would be false.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And then he's like
an average quarterback. He's like,
That's what I'm saying, and it's like a Heisman curse, and that's why when what's his name in Cleveland? What's that kid's name? Baker Mayfield. So he won. I almost didn't want him to win the Heisman, because I felt like if he didn't win it, he'd have better odds of being successful.
First of all, he shouldn't have won the Heisman.
But he did.
How did you flip off an entire stands on national TV, giving everybody the middle finger, but you're Heisman worthy?
I know.
As the best college athlete.
Let's call it out. If had that been a black kid that did that same thing.
Yeah. He can't even look in the stands wrong.
I'm telling you.
Jameis
took a crab leg, okay? And they wouldn't never let him live that down.
Wouldn't even thought of.
Okay. He took a crab leg.
Because this grocery store hookup.
That he thought was a hookup, and it obviously was not a hookup. Okay, that's called mistaken hookup. This dude ran from the cops, okay?
Oh, Jimmy ain't working today? Oh,
right. My bad. Sorry.
My bad.
Usually I walked out with these kings and kept it rolling. Apparently, no, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I just don't think he did that. And that's just something he normally doesn't do. I don't... So anywho, I feel your pain on that. That sucks that happened to you. I'm sure that probably happened to quite a few people. Some of those games were just so I just knew after the first few games. And was there just a lot of afternoon games?
There was a lot of afternoon. It was like even.
Yeah, I thought it was just me. I was like, wait a minute. Why are there... I'm like, I think I'm to Applebee's or something. It's like, oh, okay, I'll just go watch the cards real quick. Like, I'm thinking 2 games, That's what I'm going to go see. And I go in there, and they had to have, literally, people are getting mad because they had to have, like, almost every TV on a different game. Because there was, like, 4 or 5 games on.
Yeah.
At the same time. And it was super annoying. I was like, why is there so many games? Like, I'm supposed to be chilling out right now. This is chill out. This is 2 game time. This isn't 5 game time. It was really weird. Why was that? I'm confused.
No clue. I don't know what's up with their scheduling, but you're going Buffalo. I'm going to go ahead and go AZ.
Yeah, that was my second choice. I thought that one too was a little.
Yeah. Those are the 2 biggest spreads on the board right now.
They are. Yeah. All the other games are pretty tight.
Yeah. Cardinals held it down for me last week. So I think they can at least cover 10.5 is what this thing is showing. So yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, there's a reason why he was franchised multiple times. They weren't bought in. Now, just because Minnesota bought in doesn't mean the rest of us have to.
Exactly. And that menacing purple people eater Viking defense has been non-existent this year.
And their running back game is...
trash.
Run game's pretty suspect. Okay, but I think that's a good pick. So definitely look out for those 2 games, you guys. I'm thinking Buffalo... and Houston, and then the Evil Genius is going to look at that Arizona-Minnesota game, which I think those are 2 anything can happen games.
Yeah, even though your upset special last week was wrong.
Look, sir. I got the one before that, okay?
That's fair.
It happens. Sometimes I just go with my gut, or I go with maybe who has like some of the best looking players, just because I feel like it. I feel like objectifying them like women get objectified all the time. So
that's fine. I want everyone to go back to last week's podcast where we were discussing the Thursday night and the upset specials and just listen to my brilliant critique of what was going to happen in that game. And
sometimes he has moment of genius, which I love that sometimes, like when things happen, we're able to be like, man, remember when I gave that, like, I totally called that, or like, and that's why I think I love our show is that now we have a record of it. Like, we weren't just talking about it in a bar. We actually have a recorded what we said.
And also the times where it was like, remember I said that was going to happen and the complete opposite happened?
That too. Those are our couch coach moments. Which happen. So yeah, let's get to the top rankings then, since we're talking about teams, talking about all the changes that are happening right now and the inconsistencies of the play. A lot of this, I think, has to do with a lot of coaching changes that happened this year. We have quite a few not even necessarily rookie, but just new coaches. I mean, a lot of rookies, but a lot of new coaches and new situations. A lot of transition with quarterbacks, like a lot of different quarterback moves, which means they're in a different offense. And I don't think people sometimes factor that in, is when you get a new coach, that means you usually are getting a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. And if you're a quarterback that has not worked in those systems, you're getting to know each other. So I think, I was a little weirded out that the Patriots were so bad, but then I thought, well, they did lose their defensive coordinator, but I mean, even still,
and one of their losses came directly to that defensive coordinator who knew everything that they were going to do.
Correct. And then we saw, I think that's what we're witnessing now with the Eagles, is just the loss of coaching staff there, because people got promoted and took, because the offensive coordinator, isn't that the one that's at Arizona?
Yep, he bounced. Offensive coordinator bounced, and they already had a quarterback controversy, so I knew it was not going to be right.
Yeah, and the last part of the season with the Eagles was Nick Foles. It wasn't Carson Wentz, so he hasn't played since week 7 or 8,
something like that. Yeah.
Of that last, so that he's getting his flow back. So they have a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of situations that they're running into now, which has obviously dropped them out of the top 10. So either way, we only have 2 undefeated teams left. The Rams and the Chiefs, like, woo! I mean, crazy, right? Like,
there they are. Yep.
I'm hoping Andy Reid doesn't bring his curse, but He's good for making you amazing at the beginning and then tanking in the end.
Yeah. This is their real test this week against the Patriots. So,
well, they were tested by the Broncos because
yes. But this is their real scheduled. This is their scheduled test, though.
Yeah,
Not just your Homer. I love the Broncos pick.
No, not even that. Not even that. But just it's just they were tested offensively during that game, and so they were still able to overcome that, even though there were some crazy plays that happened that I don't think would ever happen again. But either way, they showed out, to win that game. So, well,
this is what I was debating for my other upset special, because it's only like a 3-point spread or 2.5 or whatnot.
Right.
But I don't feel that as good as the Patriots are, that their defense is up to par to run with these dudes.
Oh no. They have so many offensive weapons, and they're not even using them all. Like Tyreek Hill was like one of their main, offensive weapons as a receiver last year, and even though he's still a big, intricate part of their offense, Kelsey is so ridiculous that they don't even need him. Like they have Hunt running the ball, they have Kelsey as a tight end, which I'll talk about my fantasy how I feel about that. But they just have so many offensive weapons, and they have a quarterback that's playing like he's been in the league 7-8 years. So, and a competent head coach.
For the first half of the season.
Yeah, correct. So they're not playing any. The Patriots are not playing scrubs, and and I hope they recognize that. We'll see. I actually really want to watch that game because I'm like, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, because the Chiefs' defense has been trash too.
Right.
So they'll let everybody stay in the game. So sooner or later it's gonna bite them.
Yeah, because their defense is not very good.
Yeah,
that would be factual. Their pass coverage is slightly suspect.
So we got Rams 1, Chiefs 2.
Yeah, the Saints moved up.
3. I'm cool with that.
I'm
Patriots
cool. Congrats
4.
to our boy Drew Brees.
Yes, Drew Brees. Yes. Patriots moved up to 4. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Panthers stayed exactly where they were at 5.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
That's fine.
The bottom half is where I got issues again. So the Jaguars dropped down to 6. The Bengals stayed at 7. The Bears stayed at 8. The Vikings moved up to 9, and the Chargers moved up 10.
And they moved up substantially. Like the Vikings and Chargers moved up 4 slots. So
yeah, both of them moved up 4 slots.
And they pushed the Packers, and they pushed the Steelers out of the top 10.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Steelers not being in the top 10. I'm fine with that.
Who do you think should not be in that bottom 5, or do you think they should be higher?
Well, my biggest issue is that I think the Jaguars should have fallen further.
Okay.
I think the Jaguars should be definitely behind the Bengals and Bears. So and work the rest out from there. So
now why? But this is why. This has nothing, in my opinion, to do with this season. I think it has to do with who the Bengals and the Bears have been. Instead of who they are now, and they're kind of just being penalized, which is kind of fine. It's almost nice to stay a little bit under the radar.
Yeah, I'm cool with staying under the radar, but I have a problem with look, the Jaguars got trounced, they got destroyed, and they were already kind of on the fence anyway. Yeah. And the Bengals beat the division leader of the AFC East.
Right.
So, I mean, the Bears had a bye. That's fine. I'm not too tripping on that, but I'm like, my boys need a little bit more love. They,
Could be that kind of half-ass showing of Andy Dalton, though. I mean, Hey, he was pretty weak.
I tell you right now, what happened was the Bengals were already looking ahead to the Steelers. Mm-hmm. And that first half, the Dolphins snuck them. And then it was like, oh, shit, nah, this ain't going to fly. And then that second half, the Dolphins looked like they was drowning.
Right. No, literally.
I'll I'll take a pick six and a sack fumble return for another six. Hey, that's cool.
And that's what I'm saying about, like, people are getting all pumped about Tannehill. I'm like, when has Tannehill been great? Like, because he had a few good games this year after being hurt again. We're supposed to throw a parade. Like, I don't know. Like, I just think they had unrealistic expectations of Miami. And same thing with Tampa. Just unrealistic expectations because you won a few games early.
Oh, remember
two quarterbacks that we know are both extremely suspect.
2 weeks ago,
Tannehill, come on.
That's what people had to realize. The NFL is fickle. 2 weeks ago, Florida was the place to be.
Yes.
The Bucs were 3-0.
Miami, Jacksonville.
Miami was undefeated. Jacksonville was undefeated. You had 3 teams in Florida just balling all undefeated. And now all of them
the hurricane has a come.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're definitely you're starting to see the Florida teams tank. So that's interesting to see that's what's going on there. But you're seeing the LA teams. The Chargers don't even have home field advantage at all. They still
San Diego.
So.
They still San Diego to me.
They are.
And I'm gonna call them play.
They don't even have a home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wherever they play at, it's basically someone else's home, and they usually have fans from there.
Yep. They had a black hole.
Yes.
Last week against Oakland.
They did.
But they were the home team.
They did.
And they still had a black hole.
Yes.
It was sad.
So it's like, I don't know. I still feel like that was like just a dumb move, and I don't know why they did that, but. I think that's why they kind of go under the radar, because people don't really think they have an identity, especially now that they're not in San Diego. It's like, who are you again? Oh, that other LA team? Like, what? Interesting. So yeah, those are the top 10. I'm curious to curious to hear how our listeners feel about those top 10. The top 5 are, what they are. But yeah, that bottom 5 I think is a little suspect, and I think that the Jags are definitely higher than what they should be. And I mean, the Bears should stay there. I think they had a bye week, so I'm going to say it should probably be the Bengals, then the Jags, and the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah. They're about to start. All these teams are about to start getting the meat of their schedule. So
right.
We'll see. We'll separate the men from the boys here real quick.
We'll see. All right, you guys. So the topic of fantasy that I wanted to talk about. So I actually focused on when you have a position where you can either put in a tight end. It's a flex position, basically, where you can either put in either a receiver or a tight end or a running back or a tight end, those flex positions, and you're kind of deciding, well, what should I do? And so I kind of wanted to look a little bit deeper into there to really look at the tight end position, because Travis Kelce, to me, like, he almost messed up me winning one of my games just because he's so successful at what he does. But it's basically, from what I'm noticing, it's kind of becoming an obsolete position in the league. There are very few elite tight ends.
Yeah.
There's like 3 productive ones in the league at this point.
And that's it.
And that's it. That's all there is. And if they are successful, they are so dominant. I mean, look at Gronkowski and, with the Patriots. I mean, if they are good at what they do, they can literally change the entire dynamic of a game. And you really have seen how Kelsey's been able to do that for Kansas City, how Gronk has done that for, the Patriots in many occasions. And for some odd reason, we don't have the Tony Gonzalez's anymore. Yeah. It's really weird. It's a very interesting dynamic. But I noticed that tight ends, if you look at like the top scoring fantasy positions, that a tight end doesn't even show up to until number 54 out of all positions. And that's Kelce.
They're below kickers. They're below kickers right now.
That's Kelce.
Literally every week in tight ends, you're looking for Gronk, you're looking for Kelce.
That's it.
Jimmy Graham falling off. He's had one good week.
Yes.
Jesse James for Pittsburgh.
He's fickle.
He's had one good week.
I have him on a bench because I don't know what he's going to do. And he's a starter, so it's crazy when you see that. Travis Kelce has Mahomes. So he is the top scorer in all of fantasy. So if you did the math on that, the only tight end that basically shows up in damn near the top 100, his quarterback is a top scoring fantasy person in the league.
Yep.
So
and he came out to a slow start.
Correct.
Kelsey didn't start balling until week 3.
So with that being said, if you are in a position where you have a flex spot and you have a tight end on your bench and you have a running back and you're like, well, I don't know about this running back, put the running back in.
Exactly.
Or put the receiver in that, even if they're only going to get 2 points, because the odds of them getting that 2 and the receiver getting, or the tight end getting their 2 is night and day at this point.
That receiver number 2 or the slot receiver in there. Yeah, something. Yeah, tight ends have done nothing for me this year.
Yeah, no, nothing. The backup to the backup running back is making more points. The backup kicker is making more points than the tight end at this point. So I'm wondering how we're going to combat this. If this is something that's maybe happening at like a high school level or college level, to where they're not really, because you're even seeing kickers kind of falling off too. So it's like, are they just not putting enough emphasis on those positions at those levels to the point where those players just aren't even ready to play at an NFL level?
I don't know.
Look how Crosby choked with Green Bay. It's like,
I doubt that the NFL cares that much about fantasy that they start adjusting their players though. So
they absolutely do care about fantasy players, because the reality of that is we have players that care about fantasy. And they care because it's a very easy way to see what's happening with you. And if you're not getting the ball, fantasy is going to show that you're not getting the ball, that you're not dropping the passes. And I'm pretty sure Odell Beckham, which we'll be talking about, is looking at his fantasy stats and wondering why he's so damn low. So they care.
His quarterback has an old noodle arm, is why.
I'm telling you, they care. But I would say start your running backs. Only current position that is able to currently compete right now with quarterbacks, as far as scoring is concerned, is the running back position. The receivers don't show up until number 27 ranking as far as the top scorers in fantasy, and they are behind multiple running backs. So just FYI, even running backs you never heard of before are still scoring more than most receivers.
True that.
So there's my fantasy.
There it is. Yeah, I stated that tight ends are killing me. I don't even know what to do anymore.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, it's like you can't. You basically putting an empty slot in there. Can I have an extra kicker?
It basically is.
Right now, I would prefer an extra kicker.
I would too. And you know what's funny too? I wonder if, like, with all these rules that have allowed for the quarterback to have more time to throw the ball, which means they're getting out to the receivers more than likely, has that impacted the need for the tight end?
Yeah. You got to get that extra blocking.
So, it's interesting. It's interesting when you look at it, and I'm surprised I haven't seen Colin Cowherd do like a whole segment on it, because he is one of those types of guys that picks out random information and then like goes on a long tangent about it. So I'm kind of waiting for that, especially because he has Tony Gonzalez on his show so much. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't honed in on that. But yeah, shows what a hot commodity Kelsey is.
Definitely.
It's like, man, dude. But yeah, since I brought up fantasy, I wanted to follow it up with a topic today about, should a player call out teammates, whether like outright or inadvertently call them out in media interviews, and should they be fined for calling these players out? Now, some of you might have heard about Odell Beckham, and he had an interview and he basically inadvertently called out Eli Manning for why he is not as productive as he wants to be. And a lot of people were saying, well, he used the word I a lot in what he was saying. We all know that Odell Beckham's selfish. Most receivers are. I don't know too many receivers that are not selfish creatures. It's the position that they're in.
AJ Green.
Okay, whatevs. He don't count. But I would say that, they, if any player, is a direct reflection of quarterback production, because they can't do it without him. That just doesn't happen.
Very true.
So if your quarterback has minimal to low production, it's obviously going to reflect on you as a player. And hey, some of these guys, they want to be Hall of Famers one day, and you need to you need a quarterback to help you to get there. So what do you think about that? I heard some people saying that he should have been fined, or that they should have some type of stipulation for you giving media interviews and keep that in the locker room. I mean, you've played football before. You've been in that, not on this level, obviously, but, what do you think about those conversations happening outside of the locker room?
They shouldn't happen outside the locker room. Plain and simple. I don't care about how much money you make. That is the one thing as far as the Belichick rules that I completely agree with. You don't ever hear the Patriots talk about the Patriots until that dude is no longer on the team. Just plain and simple. Mm-hmm. You don't hear it. If y'all got beef, y'all need to keep that internal, deal with it in-house. The Steelers used to be good at it, but they gotten garbage at it as of late. All of them just running loose lips, and it's a matter of media access. You letting all these guys in there and giving everybody free range to speak, which, yes, it's a free country, but when you're trying to build a championship franchise and trying to get your team in order and keep your house in order, you can't have everybody out there running their mouth, especially certain people. Like, you, as a coach, as a player, as a team captain, you know who blabs off at the mouth in your locker room too much. And, it gets extra frustrating when your team is garbage. And that's not to say that Odell Beckham was wrong in what he was saying. It was just wrong in who he was saying it to.
Yeah. But I would say this. They have a new coach there, correct? Pretty sure. Right?
Yep.
And I would say that can all stem back to his leadership and his lack of leadership, to where Odell would even think he had the free rein to do that, to comment on that. But also it comes back to the confidence that they have in Eli. And, the town made this big stink about benching him last year, which we did too. I was not a fan of how they benched him. And I feel like, you don't bench him. You just find somebody better. And then you'd be done, or you trade him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't bench him one game and then throw him back in. And I think ever since then, it just hasn't been right. And I don't know if he can get that back. What else does he need? Like, he could have a perfect offensive line. I don't know if that's going to change the problem. He's not his brother.
As good and as great as Eli Manning has been for them, and as good and as great as Saquon Barkley is,
right?
They should have drafted a quarterback.
They needed a quarterback, and they passed over Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. Yep. They passed over all three of them.
They could have got Baker Mayfield. The Browns would not have been mad with Saquon Barkley and rebuilding. So yeah, they could have got any of these.
They'd have to trade up. They'd have to trade up for that. But
yeah.
But either way though, so what if I could see maybe somebody passing over Baker. Okay, he's kind of a loose cannon. You don't really know what you're going to get. I could see that happening.
I'm cool with that.
There literally was 3 more potential franchise quarterbacks right underneath him. I mean, this was like the year of the quarterback. If you needed a quarterback, this was the year to get him. I think that's why I'm kind of irritated with the Broncos, because we kind of put all our chips in one basket with Keenum because he had one great year in Minnesota. And then when technically we could have drafted a quarterback, but unfortunately my GM, I love him to death, Elway, but I don't know what the hell he's doing. And he doesn't have the Midas touch when it comes to QB picks. It's really bad. And I think the Giants basically shot themselves in the foot and basically said what their own future was going to be by trying to save the feelings of Eli. I mean, this is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, first of all, I don't think Odell should be fined. I'm just that's some internal stuff. Yeah, the team can fine him or whatnot. I don't know about the league finding him for whatever, but I guess the team could fine him. But Odell's contract should have came with a, hey, okay, you getting top dollar. your media access. Yeah, there needed to be a stipulation in there. We're gonna pay you, but you got to shut up.
That's what I was saying about the fines. Like they were saying, like there should be some type of like stipulation in his contract that you need to shut the hell up. And if you don't, we fining you. Like for every time you feel like you want to, and he's the type of player that you almost have to do that with. Like, yeah, we'll give you this contract because you okie doked us right now. But
he's the definite player you had to do do that with. It's like, here's the contract, but it comes with incentives, and one of those incentives is keeping your mouth shut after the press conference.
It's like a Des Bryant, like. Well, who speaking of, anybody who knows me, I love Colin Cowherd, and it had me dying today that he brought up Des Bryant. He was like, dude, nobody cares about you. You're not even that good. You weren't even that good when you played. You're not an elite. He was like pulling up stat matches of like Des Bryant and some random player that nobody's ever heard of, and they're like basically the same stats, and he's like, this dude's been on 5 different teams and you have the same stats as him, and he's been hurt half the time. He's like, go sit down, somebody. Nobody cares. He's like, I'm not talking about this man one more time on this show unless he plays for the Patriots.
Even Jerry Jones this week came out and said we haven't had an elite number 1 receiver in so many years.
And that's your boy. You was watching the OTR too with him, and he's like, no, dude, you ain't the one. So yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Like sometimes you just need to know when to just be quiet or like use some discretion. Like.
Exactly.
It's going to get you nowhere. So anyway, I'd love to hear how Cave fans feel about that. So definitely sound off in our social media posting. Let us know how you feel about Odell Beckham opening his mouth. Should he have kept it closed? Should he have been fine? Should they try to come up with some type of something with him? Like, we going to tax you if you open your mouth again? I don't know, but...
Well, while we speaking about the NFC East, who you got for the Thursday night game?
Oh, let me give you my Thursday pick. Let me see. I'm gonna go. I mean, Philly has no running back.
They got Smallwood. Smallwood's been playing well this year.
Oh. Now, what's going to happen? Are they going to have a breakout moment, or are they going to lose? What's going to happen?
Yeah, the Giants are dead to me.
Okay, I'm going to take the Giants just to make this interesting.
Yeah, I'm going Philly all day on this one. Philly by 3 is what the spread is saying. The Giants keep showing spurts of greatness, and I thought they were dead in the first half last week, but they kept showing spurts of coming back. Mm-hmm. Eli Manning has 3 buttons right now. It's toss it up to Odell Beckham.
Hope he catches it with one hand.
Toss it, swing pass to Saquon Barkley, or interception. Those are his only 3 buttons.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Hopefully he'll find a 4th one.
I don't know how many buttons he can hit.
I'm telling you right now, between him and my boy Case Keenum, I was saying, and we follow each other on social media, but I was saying my Bronco group, I don't know who has less awareness of what's going on around them between those 2 individuals. Like, they're both slow, but I don't know which one has less awareness of the pass rush.
Yeah,
because I'm noticing neither one of them. It's like something about their peripheral is not right.
Yeah, maybe they just should dial the helmet back or something.
I don't know. Something's not right. But both of them have a very, very much a lack of awareness of what's going on around them. And if they and I wonder if they're both because they're both spooked to where they can't focus on anything else. I don't know.
I think
maybe they have lack of confidence in their O lines. I don't know, but something's not right.
Literally, when I watch Eli, he looks like a punch drunk boxer.
That's what Case Keenum looks like.
He looks like he knows what's going on. He's aware of what's about to happen, but he can no longer has the quick twitch motor skills to do anything about it.
But it looks like like lack of awareness because you're so slow. And that's what I noticed about Case Keenum. I'm like you cannot be this unaware of what's happening. So my next thing is you must be this slow. And I remember I asked my dad and my brother, I'm like, is he just this Are they just I'm like, is their pass rush just this good, or is he just that damn slow?
Yeah.
And they're like, he's that slow.
Yeah, you just like when I just see the look in Eli's eyes, and it's just like it looks like he's unaware, but to me it looks like as fear as to, hey, why aren't my muscles moving when I'm telling them to move? I'm telling them to move. Oh, they're not good. Oh, I'm down.
I want to know how long him and Case are holding onto the ball compared to other quarterbacks. I'm curious to know how much longer they're holding onto the ball.
Yeah,
I want to know that. Who can get that stat for me?
We're stat boy. We're stat boy.
Stats.
Where's Tony Reale when you need him? Stat boy.
Give me the stats. So yeah, but yeah, definitely check out Thursday's game. That should be an interesting one. I don't know what'll happen, but we'll definitely be tuning in. You can actually see our picks. The Pepper himself does post those on Thursdays for our Thursday picks, and then he posts our picks for the entire week of football before Sunday. So definitely check those out and give us our picks.
Last week was magnificent and ugly all at the same time. I felt like my name was Habib and I was going against McGregor.
Oh God!
Things were awesome. There was 14 games on the slate last week. I went 8-6. The first time either of us has gotten over 500 this year. So that was brilliant. And my magnificent partner got a big 3-11.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
Yeah.
Spreads killed me.
Yeah, so she was leading me by 1 on the season, but now she's down by 4. So.
Well, hopefully this week I don't totally crash and burn like that. Usually I'm pretty consistent. That's probably the worst I've ever had in life. But
I'm cool if you crash and burn again.
That's cool okay. That. Well, we're going to clean that up. We're definitely going to clean that up. To end our show, as always, we like to highlight just some interesting points. And once again, my favorite is the cave conquering moment. It's why I started the cave, is being a woman that loves sports and stats and wanted to be able to infiltrate a man cave. So I always have to bring up something female empowerment related when it comes to sports, and especially with football or the NFL. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the cave conquering moment of the week. Girls, we run this mother. Yeah. Girls, we cave conquering moment of the week. Girls, we run this mother. And this week, did you guys know that the NFL hosts an NFL Women's Summit each year? Usually it's around the Super Bowl. And it's focused on women leaders and their contributions to their communities, but also women's contributions to the NFL and just the game of football in general. And they have it's a whole conference, and there's speakers and events and workshops and things of that nature, all put on by the NFL for women.
How do we get you into that?
I know, right? Well, I thought I'm going to try to. Usually, it's wherever the Super Bowl is at, so I'm going to try to maybe go one year.
Okay.
But I thought that was kind of cool.
We need to get you at that. We need to get like a correspondence. You can tell us how it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. My Bengals are going to the Super Bowl this year, so I can be in it. I can be in Atlanta. We can set up something. We can record from Atlanta. We can do something. He's
already planning for an existence that's not going to happen, people. The delusion is real. But I'm going to let him roll with it. Because, if my team was 4-1, I'd be doing the same thing. So I get it.
Yeah.
I got
it.
Hey,
I would like to, on a side note, I would like to modify our bet. I'll be in to get you your steak dinner right before Thanksgiving. But we also set up a bet on our teams this year, and about whoever's team has the better record.
Get the jersey.
They get the jersey.
Well, my brother's already going to get me one because we're going to have matching Lindsay jerseys, which we got to for our hometown boy. But what would you like your modification to be?
I no longer think we should do an NFL jersey. I think we should still boycott that a little bit. I think we should go with our NBA teams.
I don't like the NBA.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
Just don't. I have never had an NBA team. Like if there's anything in the NBA that I support, it's usually a certain player. Like I follow players in the NBA. I do not follow teams. I've just never been that way.
That's fine. You're a player then, but don't hurt my feelings. You don't like the NBA at all. Oh,
and not until the playoffs. I'll be honest with you. I think it's just it's every man for himself most of the time.
I don't even know who you are anymore. I thought my
like
co-host
hockey.
just hurt my feelings.
I like hockey.
You like hockey? Well, I don't know anything about hockey. I just know there's
we could
6
do
black players
NBA
in the NFL.
for you. We could do NBA for you, and you could do hockey for me.
All right, deal. I just don't want to buy no NFL jersey.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. We have to get a Phelps Lindsay one. There just is no option for us. We'll be wearing that one with pride. I mean, we watched the kid grow up, so we definitely will be representing.
I'll knock that out.
But I get it. I'm more excited about my steak dinner and my whiskey because he did leave the whiskey part out because I will be picking it from the top shelf where it's dusty because nobody ever picks from there because it's so expensive. But that's where I will be picking it from.
Fine.
All right, well,
because you're gonna owe me a steak dinner back again in January anyway. So
go back.
I'm cool with it.
Go back.
Yep.
All right. Well, without further ado, one of my favorite times of our show is the WTF moment of the week. Take it away.
All right, I had a lot of trepidation with this one, and there was a couple of weird things that happened last week, and I boiled it down to the biggest painfulness out of all the NFL last week. What the fuck is up with kickers? Like, I know we just did a whole deal on tight ends and how they're not scoring anything, but literally kickers have been the most atrocious things I've ever seen on the screen this year. There were 5 kickers last week that blew it for their teams. The biggest one being Mason Crosby, who missed 5 kicks. Mm-hmm. The guy for San Diego almost cost them the game. Good thing they were playing against the Raiders. It is just disgusting. There's like 3 good kickers in the league, and everybody else just should be in high school. It's like if your name isn't Tucker for Baltimore or Renault for the Carolina, I think Lutz is good for the Saints, and then there's like one more guy out there. There's 32 freaking teams. And there's still like 26 people that need kickers. It's just extra points. Okay, extra points. I need the stat boy to help me out with how many extra points have been missed this year. That it's sad. Can we get rid of the position? Can we just have maybe 6 kickers in the league and just rotate them? Like, oh no, y'all don't got a kicker this week. Something needs to happen. I just don't understand. You literally have one job. Well, that's all you have.
But here's the thing. It's just like I said about the tight end position. And I think I remember, didn't I tell you, like, I was like, you know what, when I have a kid, they're going to be a kicker and I'm going to start an entire, like, league or whatever focused on building the top elite NFL kickers, because it is a forgotten position until you get to a certain level, usually college. I mean, there's a few high school kickers, but college is where they put more focus on it. But by that time, you're like 6 years behind where everybody else is at in their position. And if you do get one that is good, there's such basket cases because for a lot of the time, your one job could mean your whole job. So it's like one of the most frustrating positions to be in. If you're a player, like you don't have room for mistakes like everybody else. Everybody else can get a holding call or, drop a pass. You miss that kick. It's like, ooh, that's you, boo. Like nobody else. It's you. So it's definitely a tough thing to think about. I brought up the Crosby issue earlier. You saw how they ran what's his name out of Minnesota after he missed the field goal for them to go to the playoffs or
yeah. They would have went to the.
He never recovered from that.
They would have went to NFC Championship game 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. He cost them that. Literally, the Browns would be 4-0.
Yep.
If it wasn't for a kicker.
Yeah. So that's what you have to look at it from this point though is what is not just the league but the colleges doing, the high schools doing, the Pop Warners doing to prepare more kickers and making that an appealing position because it doesn't look appealing. That's why you can't get kids to do it. I don't want to be the kicker. And they're like, who wants to be that?
It's sad.
Yeah, but I get it. That's definitely something that's been holding a lot of people back, and a lot of teams have definitely lost game, but it makes it interesting, though, too.
It definitely makes it interesting. Like, literally, I used to just always be like, oh, man, don't trust college kickers. They always screw games and screw point spreads and that kind of deal. But now all of that has crept up to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like you can't even trust the professional. Like, your name is professional kicker.
Correct. Well,
Crosby last week is not a professional kicker. That is sad. Toughen up, get some thicker skin, do something about your life. Figure it out. You have one job, kick. Should be able to do it blindfolded.
Well, definitely be looking out for that. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some continuous changes in the kicking position. I'm good. My McManus is balling. Something about Denver kickers. We know how to pick a kicker. That's one thing we do well.
Yay, John Elway picking kickers.
Hey, Prater, McManus. Come on now.
Yep.
We break
Where's
records
Prater
in Denver.
At now? Is
he was
retired?
in Detroit. Is he still in Detroit? He was in Detroit. I think.
Where did he get to?
I think he still might be there.
Yeah. Did he get too expensive for y'all? Y'all let him go?
I think he had a moment where he got. Yeah, he's in Detroit. Yep. I think he had a moment where he got like real drunk or something.
Oh.
Or like was on pills or something because he was like suspended. Something happened with that. Like Molly, I want to say he mollied out. Something crazy like that happened.
You been hanging out with John Elway's son?
Yes. Basically. So he just had a moment.
Fair enough.
You know, but yeah, we're good. We had Jason Elam, baller, yeah. Prater, yeah. Baller, McManus, baller. Yeah. So we know what we doing.
Those are the golden days of kickers. Now
we still got him. Elam was our first one. Then we had Prater, and now we have McManus. We know how to pick one.
Yeah, the last 3 years of just kickers have gone down. It's sad. I hate them.
Well, anyway, I'd love to hear what our listeners have to say about that. But it's definitely something I noticed, and I know a lot of people else are noticed. A lot of other people are noticing as well. Definitely. But yeah, that's our show. Yay!
Yay!
We made it through week 6. Thank you guys all for tuning in every week. We definitely appreciate that. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Cave Sports and Cave Sports Podcast. And of course, subscribe to our channel or share it. That'd be great. If you know people that love to just listen to people and want to laugh a little bit too, we're probably the show for you. We're probably way more entertaining than the other ones.
There it is.
To be honest.
Because we keep it real.
All the way real. With that being said, I'm your host, Anastasia.
And I am Pepper, the misunderstood evil genius, everybody's favorite crazy cousin, the most powerful comedian in the universe.
And this is, of course, The Cave.
You have entered The Cave with Anastasia and the misunderstood evil genius.